Hey Pan Dudes, Peter from Panda here. Hey, got my M&P 9mm Shield here, safety checked, no magazine. My Heckler & Koch VP9 here, safety checked, no magazine either. And I just want to show you and tell you why I hate the trigger on this M&P Shield. Okay, it's not a universal problem. A lot of people never have this problem, but for me, it's something I didn't even consider until I got it, and it's a problem that's come up not every time, the minority of the time, but it annoys me badly. So first of all, like I said, safety checked, and the trigger on the M&P Shield has this kind of articulation on the bottom. It's like hinged with a knuckle, as opposed to like this HK, which has this blade type safety in the middle of the trigger. This is really common. It's common in the Glocks, etc., etc. And the cool thing about this is that when you pull the trigger, you basically can't get or put any pressure on the trigger until that blade's pushed in, which allows the trigger safety to become disengaged, and you can pull the trigger all the way down, right? So there's really no way to pull the trigger unless your fingernail was trying to pull on the side, which would be kind of dumb and useless. All right, so I like the blade safeties. I know people don't like those, but you know, when I'm shooting, I don't even realize it's there. But this type of trigger safety to me is dumb, and it's annoying, and it's caused me some problems. So keep it in mind if you have this gun. So a lot of people said, you know, I trust this gun with my life. So if you trust it with your life, I trust it with going to the range. But here's my issue. I have relatively small hands, I suppose. But when I put my finger on this trigger, what happens is my small fingers, and because of the short nature of this grip, is you're kind of really pushing your hand up as high as it'll go. You're trying to get your fingers under here, and you're kind of pushing your hand all the way up to the top of the slide, and your finger tends to get the trigger on this top half of the grip. Now, you would say, well, there's this V shape here, and your finger's going to fall normally in there, and you're going to be putting a little pressure on the lower part of the trigger, which is going to move that safety up, that little notch up, so that the trigger can fire. Boom. Normally, that's what you think would happen. Unfortunately, what's happened several times when I've been at the range, and I couldn't figure it out at first, is because I'm kind of got my hand up as high as possible to get as much purchase on the gun as possible, my finger can actually pull on that trigger without actually putting, only with just gentle pressure on that bottom. And what I'm get is I'm squeezing, and I can't get the trigger off. I can't get the gun to fire because I'm really squeezing it here. You can see my fingers turning red because the trigger safety is doing what it's doing. But the hinge here should either be higher, in my opinion, because you've got to really get your finger down here, or they should have just used a blade safety, because if your finger starts butted up against the top of the trigger and you pull back, look, boom, I can't get the gun to fire. I'm not even really trying hard to not get the gun to fire, right? I mean, I'm just there. See? Okay. And there it went. That is really annoying to me. So, you know, when I go to the range, the irony of it is when it happens and it catches a little on the top, I have to think, all right, release, get your finger a little lower, fire, all right? That is brutally annoying. So if you're buying the M&P Shield, or I don't know if this is on other M&Ps, and your gun doesn't have a blade safety, it has this little kind of knuckled trigger here, keep that in mind. If you have small hands, you may have the same problem I do. Hopefully you don't. Peter von Panda, out.